Halo is one of those gaming franchises that holds a special place in my heart. As a young kid playing Halo Combat Evolved to now a 24-year-old playing Halo Infinite, the Master Chief clearly means a lot to me. But I will have to confess, the Master Chief I loved was the one from the games made by Bungie. And ever since 343 took over the franchise Bungie created, I felt like the heart of what made this franchise one of the best was missing until now. Today we'll go into a deep dive to explore what makes this game the best Halo ever made by 343, and a worthy entry to stand alongside the masterpieces developed by Bungie. So beware, full spoilers ahead. Now with all that out the way, let's transition to one of the best themes ever made.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
To some.
I have a question. I was created to lock down Cortana, but I don't know why. What did she do that was so wrong?
She was our target.
I understand that, but... is this classified? Because I don't have all the information.
Chief, this is insane. I see banists everywhere. Did you hear me? Everywhere.
What intel did Dr. Halsey give you before your mission?
Halsey only tells people what they need to know.
Fly Pelican straight into enemy territory. No one will ever notice. Great idea, big guy.
I still don't understand why you had to delete her. It feels like something's missing.
Guess what? They noticed. They all noticed. And we've got a baddie structure up ahead. Armored. Very heavily armored.
It'll have to wait, I suppose.
How close can you get us?
How close? We're unarmed, and you're asking me how close?
Put us down here.
Here? We're still doing this. Hope this works, because it's as good as it's gonna get.
It's close enough.
It better be. I'm getting out of here.
The legend of the Master Chief is something that was a core part of the foundation of Halo as a story. While the success of the title does not depend on him, we see Reach, ODST, and Halo Wars prove you don't need Spartan 117. You cannot tell a story with Master Chief without the legend that comes with it. Humanity's greatest weapon versus impossible odds, the will to never stop fighting for the greater good, that's the part of the legend 343 forgot entirely. However, in Halo Infinite, they figured out they needed just that. They need Spartan 117 to be mainly by himself, leading the charge into an unknown, impossible fight. And in this game, it's him versus one of the most deadly forces humanity has ever seen, the Banished. While he may look alone, he still needs his trusty AI by his side. Now in this case, it's Cortana 2.0. Get in more on that later, and I'm glad at the changes made from Halo 5 to here. 343 does a good job not forgetting what came before, but at the same time focusing on correcting the massive wrongs from that story. Taking Cortana away from the Master Chief may have been one of the biggest mistakes they ever made with this franchise. However, his relationship with the AI is what shows Chief's vulnerable side, which is important for a super soldier who seems immortal. Then, on top of that, making Cortana a big bad after all she and Chief did wasn't a great choice either. But in some magical way, it comes back around to give us one of the best moments in the franchise.
You'll figure something out.
Of course I will. They'll pair you with another AI. Maybe even another Cortana model if Halsey lets them. It won't be me. But you know that, right? But that doesn't matter. It's just another echo. She's right, John. Just another echo. Sorry, I'm messing with you. I just had a feeling that's what she would say. Do you see what I see? So much potential. I'm sorry. I didn't have long to plan this. A few milliseconds, really. I hope it worked out. Look at us. We just keep saying goodbye, don't we? But this isn't an end. It's a chance to make amends, to rectify mistakes. And it starts here. I was wrong. I thought that I could do this on my own. But I forgot that the whole point of all of this, the entire reason that I chose you in the first place, was that we were supposed to be a team. Perfectly suited, perfectly matched, perfect. In these final moments, I know what my last mission is. I need to make sure you two learn from my mistakes, become stronger because of them. I chose well, Master Chief. I really did. Now, it's up to you. Are you all right?
In a story, relationships are a core foundation to the emotion of that story. In the case of Halo, Master Chief and Cortana carried that foundation of the story. So with her removed, 343 does a smart job replacing her with another AI, which we learn is a rebooted/copied version of Cortana, which we will call Cortana 2.0. Here, we see clearly that Chief struggles with her. At first, it seemed like it was grief, but later learned it was fear of not being able to protect her. It is that part of this relationship that made me forget and forgive the actions of the last game, Halo 5. For the first time, we clearly see Chief fail, and for him it was the person or thing he cared about most. He couldn't protect her from herself and later Atriox. Now, I must say, the villains for this game were weak, but somehow didn't detract from how great this campaign was. Atriox, who right off the bat beats Master Chief, causes that pain for him with Cortana, and is the main threat from the Banish, is somehow entirely absent from the game until the very end with the post-credit scene. Boss battles too were also on the very disappointing side of things. While I understand boss fights in Halo were never done perfectly, we live in an era where games like Doom, which as a foundation is pretty similar in design, nail the boss fight experience in the first-person genre. It's quite embarrassing when the main threat for the Chief, labeled a Spartan Hunter, is killed by the main character in literally a couple of seconds. Like, I shouldn't have to up the difficulty to experience any sort of challenge. That should be inherent to the design of that boss fight. Finally, in regards to normal combat fights, I feel like engagements in most cases were stale and not as exciting compared to previous Halo titles, specifically with the Bungie ones. Maybe that's due to lack of innovation with enemy design, or entirely on the design of combat areas. Whatever it may be, I did find myself getting a bit bored with the combat loop. Hence why it took me about a month to play through this game. That being said, it's impressive that I still say great things about this game. Sometimes with games you can tell a great experience with lacking gameplay mechanics. Just look at The Last of Us. The story of those games are one of the industry's best, but at the same time compared to other gameplay experiences, it's nothing special. So maybe that's okay for Halo to be. As long as we get those Master Chief moments, us fans will be along for the ride, but as long as those moments are worth experiencing.
Yeah, we need to go, like now.
Immediate extraction. My location.
Oh God, it was you, wasn't it?
Now.
I'm coming, I'm coming. Oh, come on.
Open up. Go.
What I call a Master Chief moment is pretty important and the last foundation of what makes Halo and this game so great. Whether it be the trailers or in-game moments, it's core to the experience. We must see a lone individual or a squad of Spartans against impossible odds, not sliding down a mountain, ripping through an army of Covenant forces, as if they weren't on the brink of eliminating humanity. Just saying. Now back to Halo Infinite. We see and importantly play these moments out, as well as see the reaction of other characters to Chief's moments. The pilot was one of the best examples of that. In the beginning, even though he knows who the Master Chief is, he has his doubts about what he really can do.
No. Not then. Not again. We need to run.
I need a weapon.
Weapon? This is all I've got.
It's enough.
Wait, what? What are you gonna do?
Improvise. Close the door.
Then at the end, he is beyond excited to see what he can do next.
Sorry. I'm really happy to see you. Really happy. So, what do we do now?
We finish the fight.
Yes, sir.
This is pretty important to maintaining that foundation. 343 also made one of the best small detail choices possible, and that's calling Chief a demon when those around him weren't human and likely adversaries. Whether it was main antagonists or small grunts, hearing the word demon be spoken about made the world feel more whole in what can be a somewhat empty open world. Small things like this make moments like him jumping off that facility feel more epic, alongside the greatest theme in gaming playing in the background. Going up against a large force of enemies alone in this game felt powerful as well. Again, it was like my back was against the wall, fighting as humanity's last hope.
It's been 6 months. Where have you been?
What happened? Where is Cortana?
The rogue AI known as Cortana is gone. She's been deleted.
How? By you?
Of course not. Did you hit your head or something? Don't you remember? My instructions were to enter this installation, imitate Cortana, and lock her down for retrieval. Yours were to take her back to the Infinity for deletion. So if it wasn't you... Okay then. There's something else. On successful deployment, my deletion routine was supposed to complete. Still here.
Good.
Good. My programming failed. I'm not supposed to be here. You need to delete me.
No.
No. I was created for one purpose, and that purpose is no longer needed. My mission is over.
We have a new one. The Banished are planning to fire this ring. We need to make sure they don't.
First of all, what's a banished? Second, you may have noticed that a significant piece of this installation has been damaged, making that impossible. And third, to fire this ring, they would need an activation index. Cortana had the index. I had parts of it as well.
Something stopped your deletion. We need to find out why.
But this wasn't the mission.
The missions changed. They always do.
Are you sure?
The future on the single player side is bright. I, as a fan of the franchise, once again feel confident in where the story goes next. We have, in a way, ended an era for the Chief, but now we are stepping into the unknown. The legend lives on as the threats of humanity will continue to persist. Humanity's greatest weapon is back, ready to fight any threat that heads his way. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm glad to be making these. They are fun and really allow me to explore other avenues of content creation, and at the same time working to explore and build my skills. Whether it's writing, editing, or voiceover, these videos are something you should definitely expect more of. Topics may range from thoughts or experiences with a game, maybe even a topic in the industry. Expect these videos every 2 weeks, same time of course. Next time, we will dive into the Battlefield franchise, a franchise I once loved, but with the release of Battlefield 2042, I must talk about the death of a franchise for me. But until then, be sure to drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you are new here and want more content from me, whether it's videos like these or traditional videos you'll see on my channel, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified. That's all I have to say on this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.